Storytime by Pumpkin Hollows. Thank you for sending your story. Okay, so storytime of how everyone knew about my crush. So during dismissal I told my friend let's call them Carlos, so I told Carlos that I liked someone and they also liked a person too. So we agreed that we won't tell him and I won't tell them. Then I told my other friend let's call them Charlotte, I had a crush on this boy, let's call him Aiden. Then Charlotte told me that she has a crush on Aiden too. And a week later Charlotte hates Aiden now, so a month or two later I was gonna tell Aiden I liked him. So when we came back from lunch I told him, I need to tell you something. Then I heard him whisper something to his friend before I even told him. I told all of my other friends I had a crush. One of my friends confessed to them because they knew who my crush was. And while we were playing around outside Aiden started chasing me. Then he said got something to say. I froze up, I was in so much tension, and he went over to my friends and one of my friends shouted liar, you lied. And then I went to the washroom in tears. And later my friend Charlotte apologized and said we are so sorry that we overwhelmed you. And she was the only one who apologized. Yeah, that's it.
So this story was sent by M0nsters. Okay, so story time about how I was home alone at 12 at night. I was in my living room watching anime. I was there for about 2 hours, then at 2 a.m. I got a call from an unknown number but I just ignored it. They wouldn't stop calling so I answered and I didn't hear anything on the other line. So this just continued on. Every day at 2 a.m. the phone rang from that same number. After a month later my parents came home from whatever trip they went on, then the number just stopped calling. And about a couple years later this guy asked me out also. Side note, I had a really big crush on him. So of course I said yes, and when we exchanged numbers I didn't notice but it was the same exact number as the unknown caller.
Okay, so this story time was sent by Allison Parker. Okay, so story time about how my best friend almost killed me. Okay, so I was about 6 at the time and I was at my friend's sleepover, let's call her Lisa. Okay, so Lisa invited me to her fun sleepover. I was super happy when we got there. Lisa was already waiting outside for me, then we hugged. We went inside and I went to go set up my sleeping bag. About 40 minutes of talking and watching dumb YouTube videos, Lisa told me she had to go to the bathroom. I waited for about 20 minutes. I started to get worried and went to go and knock on the bathroom door, then the door flung open. Her eyes were really red and her legs were shaking. She pushed me out of the way and asked if I wanted some juice. I said yes, very confused. Lisa ran to the kitchen and about 7 minutes passed and she came back. I was shocked to see her eyes weren't red anymore. She gave me my drink, which it looked like poo water. I didn't mind since I was thirsty. I drank it and started to feel really dizzy and lightheaded. When I woke up I was in the hospital and I saw my mom crying. She told me that my best friend drugged me. My mom didn't tell me this until I was 9 and after that I never heard and saw Lisa again.
Okay, so this story time is by Unicorn Superty. Anyway, story time about my rude lunch teacher. So one day in November of 2020, a new lunch teacher came. Let's call her Brittany. So Brittany was nice at first but got meaner every day. One day this guy in my class, let's call him Max. He was pushing a log up a hill but people in my class were pushing the log down the hill while he was pushing the log up the hill. Max was lying there hurt, beaten up. He looked terrible. So the bell rang to go inside, and Brittany walked over to Max and yelled at him for being hurt, called him his opposite gender and blamed him for doing something he didn't do. Also me and my BFF needed to go to the washroom really badly. Guess what Brittany said? TSK, you should have gone before you left to go outside. It's a no. That's not exactly what she said but it's something like that. Brittany now lets us go to the washroom. With a time limit. You're probably thinking oh it's probably 10 minutes or less. No. It's not. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. What if I'm taking a big fat number too? Brittany gets mad at us if we go past our time limit. She doesn't even let us explain.
Okay, so this story time is by Ariana Mays. Okay, so story time about my psycho-toxic friend. We're gonna call my best friend Ashley and the psycho one Maxine. Alright, so me and Ashley really wanted to go to this party that somebody was throwing. So we decided to go, and also side note, Ashley and Maxine never really liked each other for some weird reason. But I never thought anything of it, but at the time they were both my friends. So anyways, we went to the party and I had to take turns hanging out with both of them. Because they both literally hate each other. That on that day I was supposed to be hanging out with Ashley, so me and Ashley went, and then we saw Maxine there. Ashley was shocked like, oh my god, why is she here? But anyways, we were sitting in the lounge room and Ashley brought her boyfriend along. So he was there too. I saw him go upstairs. As Maxine followed him, I decided to sneak up and see what was going on, and they ended up going in a room with each other. I hurried downstairs and told her, and Ashley ran upstairs. And on the ledge there just happened to be a bat, so she grabbed it and everybody started recording. They knew exactly what was happening. She opened the door and her boyfriend was tied up on the bed. Maxine was just standing there watching him while he was tied up with duct tape on his mouth. We all gasped, didn't know what was happening. We untied him and the person throwing the party kicked Maxine out. I blocked her on everything and we left and got in the car to go home. A few days later the person who had the party sent the footage. So basically Maxine told him that Ashley was waiting for him. She crept up behind him and hit him with a bat and he passed out while she tied him to the bed. If we didn't run in there, we don't know what she would have done.
This story is by Ayala Alexa Arevalo. This story time is about my toxic best friend who tried to date my brother. So one day it was just a normal day at school. We went to out classes and it was just a normal day at school. We went to our classes and it was just everyday stuff. Me and my bestie, let's just call her Jane, so Jane and I went to go eat, then we went to the park. We also decided to make a TikTok and then go home. Jane really liked to play Roblox and stuff like Adopt Me, and we were having a sleepover, so yeah, we played Adopt Me and stuff. She lied about some of the pets we were trading, so I decided to block her on everything, even Roblox. So a few months later me and my brother took a pic and posted it on Snapchat, then my bestie saw it and started chatting with him. So yeah, my brother rejected her, and like always Jane would not stop, go the point where she made an alt but her name wasn't so visible, so brother accepted and they went on a date, but then my brother rejected her a few hours later and I haven't seen her since.
This story is by Hayami Gacha aka Roblox Story Times on TIK TOK. Okay, so this is a story time about how when I was in 2nd grade I vandalized school grounds. I had this friend, I'll call her Sasha. Her parents bought her rainbow Sharpies one day, and she gave me the blue one. When it was time for recess, Sasha brought some paper and her Sharpies. I brought my blue one, too. I asked her for a piece of paper, but she wouldn't give it up. I kept on persisting until she told me to find something else to draw on. She said sarcastically, "Hey, draw on that curb if you want to draw something so bad." And to prove that I was a baddie, I did. I got caught by a supervisor, and my parents got involved. I am now no longer allowed to own Sharpies in my house.
Okay, this story is by Dino_Butta Storytime. My friend's mom tried to murder me, twice. So I was 8 at the time, and I met this girl at the playground. Let's call her Lizzie. Lizzie was honestly really nice and she was a fun friend to have. After a couple months of being friends, she then invited me to come over to her house, and I asked my mom. My mom said yes, so I ran over to her house. We had a fun time, and Lizzie's mom called for lunch. While I was coming downstairs, Lizzie's mom said, "Actually just wait one moment before coming downstairs." But I already came downstairs. I saw that she was putting something in my mac and cheese, and it was black. I thought it was pepper, so I didn't expect anything. We were eating, then I realized that my mac and cheese smelled weird. I told Lizzie's mom about it and she was gritting her teeth, but gave me a fresh mac and cheese. After we ate we went to Lizzie's room, and we heard Lizzie's mom's room door bang shut. We heard bottles clanging, and a loud scream. Lizzie's face whitened and said to me, "Go in the closet and lock it." She then pushed her desk to the door, and locked that. Lizzie's mom came into the room with a steak knife, and her face was red. She was obviously drunk. She yelled my name and looked for me, while Lizzie called 911 pretending to be a part of her plan. She pretended to order a pizza when she was calling 911. The police arrived and arrested Lizzie's mom. Lizzie now lives with her dad, and my mom doesn't let me go to a friend's house if I haven't been friends with him for a long time.
Storytime by Deadly Alpha. So story time on when my boyfriend cheated on me with my BFF online. So I was playing Roblox with my BFF, let's call her Gina. We left one game because we got bored and I saw my BF online. I said to Gina that I wanted to join him. Gina didn't really like him but she said sure. My boyfriend was playing Royal High, he's like level 143 I think. Then when I TP to him he was in his apartment, then Gina followed. My boyfriend was making tea and I just said hi, but let me cut to the chase. My boyfriend and my BFF got along very well. A few days later I saw them both online. I joined my boyfriend and Gina was in the game too. I teleported to Gina's apartment to see if my boyfriend was there too, and guess what? They were sleeping in the bed together but not doing the thing, just sleeping. I just said that we were over, I hate you blah blah, then I unfriended them and that's it lol.
Story time by RG next. So story time about why I'm scared of going on the road. So after school one day, me and my friend were playing tag, and I was it. So after a while, I lost him, so I looked for him for about 5 minutes. I was 7 at the time, by the way. Anyway, as I was running back to the bus, a car came driving towards me. I saw the car and I started freaking out. I managed to run away just in time. I am never going out again. This is a true story from me, by the way.